The cultural landscape of India is incomplete without mention of the first family, the most popular family of Indian film industry, Bachchans. Today, we have film historian, author, and archivist of vintage film memorabilia S.M.M. Ausaja Sir, who is Senior Vice President at Derivas and Eves, India's premier auction house. His debut book, Bollywood in Posters, released in 2009, was nominated at the Vodafone Crossword Book Awards under the Best Non-Fiction and Best Popular Book categories. Ausaja's second book, Bollywood, The Films, The Songs, The Stars, co-authored with eminent writers, was released by Amitabh Bachchan in December 2017. It is our honor to host Sir, and without any further ado, let me ask my guest for the day. We have received several questions for this book and the conversation, and we are looking forward to host Sir. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can put down questions in the comment box and we will try to take as many as questions as possible. By the time Sir joins in, let me just see. Okay, he'll be here any second. Let me tell you, as a part of superstar Amitabh Bachchan's 70th birthday celebration, event B70 was exclusively held, and the event was hosted by Mrs. Bachchan along with Ausaja Sir, and also inaugurated by Kokila bin Ambani. Okay, there is... okay, he should be here this second. Let me just see. Yeah. One of the fondest movies I remember of Senior Bachchan is Satya Pe Satya, my favorite childhood movie, I must admit. Okay. Yes, sir is here. Hello, sir. Welcome to Kitab Book Club.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Hear you very well, sir.
Just speak a little louder.
Yes, sir. Totally. Sir, I was introducing you to the audience, and it's simply an honor to host you. And I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Thank
So,
you.
my first question to you is that what inspired you to delve into the story of Bachchan family?
Uh, I've grown up on him like so many people of my generation. So that inspiration was there since childhood. And then that fanboy period was there till my, college days. So over the years, I collected a lot of material on him
Yes.
as a passionate collector and as an archivist. So the idea was to do something meaningful out of it, whatever I have. So I decided to go for a book because if I do a exhibition, it will be limited to a city and in a particular area. At least the book will have a wider reach.
Yes.
And also there are about at least about 40-50 books on Mr. Bachchan already.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but this is the first book on the family.
Very true, sir.
So that's why I decided to do on a family. It took a lot of time because there are 5 biographies in one, literally 5 career chronicles, in fact. But it was worth it, I guess.
Sir. So when we're talking about books on Mr. Bachchan, there is a little word जिन्होंने मुझे बताया कि this book particularly took almost around about 10 years to come to the shape where we see this book in our hands. So what was the process like, sir? Any time आपको कभी ऐसा heartbreak जैसा feel हुआ क्या? मतलब साल और साल हो ही रहे हैं and it almost took 10 years, sir.
See, firstly, let me be thankful to my publishers, Om Books and Ajay Mago, because when I signed this book, I was a nobody. It was my first book that I signed. It came out late, but it was the first book that I signed as an author. Yeah. So it took a long time because it had a huge the exercise to do research was huge. It's like, you're talking about almost 6 lives in one book.
Yes.
Dr. Bachchan, Amitabh and Jaya, Abhishek and Aishwarya, and their, start to end and their career chronicle, what they did in their life, how they achieved what they achieved. So it took a lot of time in libraries. And because it's a visual book, this was also requiring a lot of visual research.
Yes, sir.
So that took time. Plus, the editing team with the publisher, sometimes they also delayed a bit because they also had a lot of backlog and whatever. So that was also one of the reasons why it got delayed. But eventually, I think whatever came out, I'm fully satisfied and happy, and I hope people like it because there's a lot of effort that has gone into it, not just in terms of textual research, but also in terms of visual research because it's a visual book.
Yes, it's a it's a pictorial biography, in my opinion, sir. So when you were mentioning about Bachchan family, it is no doubt that one of the most looked on in the internet also, the public life of Amitabh Bachchan, what he is like, or what is, stepping into the shoes of Abhishek Bachchan or Aishwarya Bachchan would feel like. So, were there any specific ethical considerations or challenges you faced while, mixing up their private and professional life in the book?
See, every individual has his own private personal life. We are all humans. We all we are not all white. We are all dark, gray, and white. Having said that, my intention was to showcase their career chronicle. It is not a biography. It is a career chronicle. What they achieved, how they achieved, what are the milestones they achieved, and why they became famous, and why this family, these individuals, became so famous and important. That is the book all about. It's not about their personal life. This is not a biography. So I made sure that I'm not writing as a gossip columnist because there's so much of gossip in film magazines that you get. I have written strictly about their work, their craft, and what makes them special and what makes them achievers in their own specific way. That is the book all about. I am not, I was really not interested in their personal life. Everybody has a personal life. All actors have their personal lives. So I don't know. I think even the personal lives are public. So uh,
Yeah,
I don't want to delve into all that.
yeah. I mean, the current times are as such that the personal lives are
Absolutely.
public lives as such. So, were there any challenges or unique insights you came across while exploring the individual journeys, starting from family members Harivanshrai ji Bachchan to Tejiji Bachchan, or individual family members as and when you were writing?
This book has a lot of unique features, I would say, which have come up in the research. You will see visually, you will see the first cover artwork of Madhushala, the famous book of Dr. Bachchan.
Yes.
Then you will see, for the first time, people will see a photograph of Pandit Nehru with Amitabh Bachchan. I don't think anybody has ever seen that photo.
Yeah,
Then there's a photo of Amitabh Bachchan, Rajiv Gandhi, and Sanjay Gandhi as school children together.
priceless.
Then there's a photo of Amitabh and Ajitabh during their college days meeting Raj Kapoor.
This is something beyond imagination to have it in front of
There
you.
is
Yeah.
there is a photo of Mrs. Bachchan's parents there, a portrait photo. Then there's a information and photo of all the 7 films that Jaya Bachchan did in Film and Television Institute of India, which nobody knows about. She did 7 student films there. Similarly, for Abhishek, there are so many priceless photos, especially the ones wherein the refugee film is being launched as first film, and there's the puja happening with the JP Datta Sahab and all. So, and of course, Aishwarya Rai's main photos wherein a lot of uh, achievements and initial years and how the South Indian films she did, and so many things. And also, I've taken care about writing uh, other perspectives, not just the family's perspective. Family's perspective, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So I've researched, like, when a film release, how was it reviewed by the newspapers, by the magazines, by the film critics. So I've been frank in that. If a film is bad, it has been called bad. I've written that film was called bad, whatever be the reason. If the film is good, I've written that this is a film that was appreciated. So I've been as practical as possible in this. My admiration for Amitabh Bachchan and family is aside, but when I'm writing, I should write in a practical and in a way where people appreciate that yes, what I'm writing is has some depth.
Right. So when I was going through the book, I noticed at what you also mentioned that you have a keen eye. You are an observer because this this brings me to the beginning of our conversation where you mentioned that when you were a young college boy, and we all have our fanboys moments, fangirl moments for the Bachchans. But so, what was the conviction that led you to believe that okay, this is something that I should, archive, or this is something I should collect? And because when Amitabh Bachchan ji started, he was rejected for his voice, or the baritone, and today I just don't understand how he was rejected because he is impressive in all sense. So, what was the conviction which made you collect all this information?
Because this is an inspirational journey. Please understand, his journey is so inspirational because it has everything. It has rejections, it has grand success, it has grand failures. So, which is a part of each individual's life in some way or the other. And how to come out of those things and still
Yeah.
shine and still be convinced that what you're doing is right and keep doing that is something exceptional. Because a lot of people, when they face defeat, when they face failure, they go into depression, or their morale goes down. So in this case, there are two, uh, all the three generations. If you look at Dr. Bachchan, his initial journey was also very, very difficult.
Yes.
Mr. Bachchan's journey, yes, very difficult because he had to struggle to find success. Or literally 12 films, one after the other, didn't do well. Only Anand did well, but it did well because of Rajesh Khanna. Rajesh Khanna was
Very true.
a
Very true. Yes.
superstar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somewhat Bombay to Goa did well, but not all that big a hit. So because of that film, he got Diwar, he got Zanjeer. Because Salim Javed saw this film and they saw potential in this man. So that period of struggle is there, struggle to find success. Then, of course, he took off, and how later on, after he entered politics and the Bofors controversy, and then he had to resign, and then his film didn't do well for 2 3 years, and then people started writing him off, and then he took a break. Then he came back. His comeback film also didn't do well, Mritudata. That also didn't do well. Again, he was written off, and then uh, came Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, which was released the same day as Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. And you will not believe, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan had more collections than Kuch Kuch Hota Hai on the first week. And Kuch Kuch Hota Hai released at the top of Shah Rukh Khan's popularity. And Bade Miyan Chote Miyan released at the lowest ebb of Amitabh Bachchan's popularity. But if you look at the box office collections, that first week collections, Bachchan beat Shah Rukh Khan in that first week. That means people were waiting for a good movie to come, which is an entertainer, to lap it up, and they did. And then, of course, there was Mohabbatein, there was Ek Rishta, there was KBC, and then he took off. And there was no looking back. Same if you come to Abhishek. Look at the struggle to find success. Film after film didn't do well. And then came Yuva, then came, Guru, and people started recognizing that he is an actor who is an actor in his own right. He should not be compared to his father because no actor can be compared to him, not just his son. It was very unfortunate and very unfair that people were comparing constantly. He has his own journey, he has his own style. He as an actor has his own individual charm, which people were not willing to see. Everybody was linking it to his father, which is ridiculous.
It's not justifiable, but the persona of Amitabh Bachchan is access that, it just empowers everything
Of
around
course,
you.
it is a very, very, see, he's India's most popular celebrity. No politician, no actor can match his popularity across board, you know, no matter what they say. So it is it is phenomenal at this age. At the age of 82, a person is so popular. It is unheard of in the history of cinema across the world.
Unbeatable, enigmatic persona, which is unbeatable, unparalleled. So, my next question is something that I would say a fun question, sir. I would say that we all grew up watching Bachchan sir, and we all are fans of Bachchan sir. But you have a lot of insider information or scoop on Bachchan sir, sir. Is it the Lucknow connection that you have with him, or how you have access to all this, sir?
See, I have collected focused. I've been focused in my collection on his material, whether it is the books or the magazines or the newspapers, whatever came out of him, for which had information on Bachchan, whether it is an interview, whether it is his cover story in a magazine. I collected it since my childhood. So that
Okay,
collection helped because somewhere or the other there were interviews where he's speaking about his life.
okay,
So I picked up those things. And,
oh,
and those interviews in old newspapers and magazines are not live. They are not
yeah,
viral because there was nothing called internet in the 70s and 80s. So those magazines and newspapers are important because that information that is there in them is not there across board. So I picked
100%.
those up, and also I interviewed a lot of people, his old directors, his like Tinu Anand sir I interviewed, and he literally enacted how when Amitabh Bachchan first saw the Shahenshah,
You might
how he was looking
that,
at himself in the
yeah,
mirror. So that was
yes.
very funny. And then he told me so many things about Kalia, about Major Saab, about Main Azad Hoon. Like Prayagraj ji told me a lot of things about Amargo Anthony, Naseeb, Giraftar, Mard, Uli. So I got a lot of information from people within the industry who have worked with him, and also from the old newspapers and magazines that I've collected over the years. And of course, when if there's something that I wanted to ask him, I always asked him. But I never interviewed him for the book because I told him this is not your perspective. This is my perspective and the perspective of the people on
Okay.
you. Because you have already spoken so many times about your life to different forums, and different uh, places. But this is a perspective that's not yours.
Yes.
How people looked. So, but of course, if I needed something, some little nugget, like uh, I asked him a simple question that when you did Adalat, उसमें he had to use that villager language. देहाती उन्होंने बोली है उसमें. So that is a very Bhojpuri UP style देहाती. But the film has been written by Kader Khan. Kader Khan was born and brought up in Mumbai. So I asked him when Kader Khan wrote this, how could Kader Khan write that UP language, which you spoke as a villager? So he said, no, he wrote in his language. I made it into a UP language.
Wow.
That is why it became so authentic.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem, when you're pointing out those things, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is something so important to the movie as such, and how well this is connected now.
For example, his first film, Saath Hindustani, was a black and white film in the era of color, and
Yes.
seven it had seven actors nobody knew about. So the film no distributor was buying. You will not believe it just had a small screening in Delhi, but the film, which was made in 1969, could not release in Mumbai because there were no takers for it. So in Bombay, his first release is Anand. It is not Saath Hindustani. That is why if you look at his interviews, when he's asked which was your first autograph that you signed, he says after the screening of Anand at a petrol pump in Bombay, he was approached for an autograph because that was the first film that released in Bombay. Adil Sani released much later in Bombay, though it was
Okay.
the first film he did.
Yeah. Because that is what I have known that all these
Yeah.
years that South Hindustani is the first. Okay. The chronology of what you are mentioning and the way it is shown in the book is incredible, sir.
And I'm
What
also
we know. Yeah.
extremely happy that he gave me the cover. The family cover I was not getting from anywhere.
Okay.
So I requested him to give me the cover for the book. So this cover that you see,
Yes.
this cover is his. He gave me the cover.
Um, so, the cover came from Bachchan sir, but apart from that, the book includes a lot of pictures. And considering the public life of the famous Bachchan family, there might be several images those are available. How did you narrow down on what is to be included in the book? Because it's going to be heartbreaking not selecting a couple of pictures. So how did you narrow down
See,
how many
I
pictures?
made sure that whatever I'm selecting as a visual for the book is not online.
Okay.
I've taken care of that. So most of the 90% of the visuals that are there in the book won't be viral. Of course, now they will get viral because the book is out. But they are very rare visuals. Like I met photographer Gautam Rajadhyaksha, who has shot Amitabh Bachchan extensively across the 80s and 90s. So
Okay.
he gave me a lot of rare pictures which have not been used. So those are, I think, those have enriched the book in a lot of good ways. And also, I've used a lot of artworks in the book by famous artists, whether it is Shrikant Dongde ji, whether it is Anil Soni, whether it is Saurabh Torakia, PG Sharma Angira. Then there are a lot of artworks in the book which are very interesting because I wanted to break the monotony of just posters and photos. So I've uh, taken a lot of visuals which are besides posters and photos. Even newspaper ads I've used, which are
Yes.
interesting.
Um, sir, do you mind showing us one of the pictures from the book, if it's accessible
Pardon?
to you? Can you show us one of the pictures from the book if it's accessible in
Yeah,
front
yeah,
of
of
you?
course, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this artwork is by Shrikant Dhongde. This is from the
Wow.
film Bombay to Goa.
It looks phenomenal.
This is his early 70s fan mail photo. Signed.
Good.
He used to send this photo to his fans.
Early 70s.
This is a theater hoarding of Silsila when the film released.
Ah,
So I've used
a
visuals
journey.
which are diverse.
Yeah, yeah. A journey in itself, sir. Um,
Of course, there
you
are
mentioned,
interesting film stills also. Like look at this one of Amda Kanu.
it is so real time. It is so live. The images are speaking in itself. That okay, this is the picture, and I have a story to tell that way. Um, so at the same time, I wanted to ask you that no doubt it is it is an outsider's perspective on Bachchan family. It is an observation on Bachchan family, sir. But how involved uh, Amitabh Bachchan ji and other family members were there in the book? Was there any input or involvement from their side in the book?
See, when this book was announced, when he released my first book, Bollywood in Posters. So he was aware that I'm writing this book. Jayaji was aware that I'm writing this book. And as and when I needed some information, I asked. Because I told them clearly, I don't need your interviews.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because it is about your craft. Your craft is already public.
True.
And you've already spoken about your craft in so many interviews across the years. So I don't need that perspective. If I need any information, I'll ask you.
Okay. Okay.
So I asked. So they were aware, of course. That's why when I showed him the book dummy, so I took an appointment. He gave me a 10-minute appointment and he saw the book for almost an hour.
Oh,
He was extremely happy. He wrote about it in his blog.
yes,
And
yes.
later on, when the final book came out, then he agreed to uh, give it a launch. And I think I'm privileged that is the it is the only book that has been launched inside his premises
Yes,
because he's not attending outside events.
that's true. I have seen one of the videos also that where he goes and visits the fans, like on Sundays where he greets everybody. There is a person in the crowd who holding the book and later on he is signing. It's such a heartwarming feeling, sir.
Yeah, it is. I hope the
So,
book does well and people realize the extent of effort that has gone into it.
yes, indeed, sir. Um, so at the same time, the title suggests a focus on excellence. Can you elaborate how the concept of excellence is explored within the context of Bachchan family and the book?
Because if you look at each of them, whether it is Dr. Bachchan, the excellence came out post Madhushala when Madhushala stormed the country. People were delighted at the strength of his poetry.
Yeah,
Similarly, when Amitabh Bachchan met success post Zanjeer, there was no looking back. It was a sensational success that has stayed with the industry for 50 long years almost. It's incredible. Being being named as the star of the millennium by a BBC poll itself is a big testament to that. And of course, Jaya Bachchan has done phenomenally well. When she started off, she won a gold medal at the Film and Television Institute. She was launched by Satyajit Ray. No, who a better director than who can be a better director than Ray to launch? Uh, you know, so that first launch was sensational, and then when she came out of the uh, FTII, then she was given a project by Rishikesh Mukherjee. So initially, all her initial films were super duper hits. So that, of course, is a big achievement. And then, of course, her entire graph has been that she has been very selective about her film, but she has done phenomenally well. Then you come to Abhishek Bachchan, look at the struggle that he has endured, and then he found his ground, and then now he's doing so well that recently he was even voted as the most popular hero on OTT platforms across platforms, and of course, so many hits that he has given over the years post Yuva and Guru. Aishwarya again, and the element of excellence is there because of what she achieved. You know, not just out of beauty, but also she made sure that that beauty translates into her work and shows into her work. And as an actress, she did so well in the film that she did. So there's an element of excellence in all their lives, which needs to be uh, inspired from, and people should take elements from those success stories in their own lives in some way. That is the best tribute that can go to the Bachchans.
The inspiration, the inspirational journey. We know the glitz and glamour, but the hard work, the effort, and like you said that it was finding success on the onward journey, and it is truly inspirational, sir. So tell me something that if you have one incident or one instance or one inspiration, if I ask you to draw, there would be several, but then if I ask you to draw one that from the journey of Bachchan family, what would you draw that?
And there's so many instances, but
Yeah.
there's one instance which I have not written in the book, which I can
Okay.
narrate because I came to know about it later. Mr.
Okay.
Javed Akhtar told me
Hmm.
there was I think in the late 70s, at the peak of Amitabh Bachchan's popularity, he was watching a cricket match in Calcutta, and uh, that match had to be abandoned because people realized that he's in the audience, and they came out on the field. So it made news, everywhere, and that same evening, uh, Amitabh Bachchan was supposed to land in Mumbai and meet Javed Akhtar Saab. Javed, Javed Akhtar Saab came to know that this happened in the afternoon in Calcutta, and he is coming to meet him in the evening. So when he met him, he said, I was waiting for the man to boast what happened in Calcutta, but he didn't. He didn't even mention it. That is the greatness of the man, because he does not take his exceptional success in his head. That is the reason why he has stayed grounded. Any actor would have boasted.
Yeah,
Eh, this is what happened today. He didn't utter a word, Javed Saab told him. So there are so many instances like these.
very true. It inspires you to look beyond what you would think of what a normal a mortal will do, and truly impressionable, truly a mark that has to be imbibed in your life, something that you can incorporate. So, coming towards the last segment of the conversation, any other book, any other work that you are focusing on or thinking upon?
When Amitabh Bachchan released this book, he told me, don't, not just me, you should do books on others as well. So I'm taking it very seriously. And I intend to do at least a book a year from now on various aspects on cinema, whether it is a star, whether it is a actress, whether it is a genre. I would like to delve into it because I'm an archivist and an author and a film historian. So I have a lot of collection which I can use to good put to good use and come out with books so that when I'm gone from this world, I should leave behind a lot of books.
You have described the journey of, the career chronicles of Bachchan family. It is beyond imagination, and I have seen the book. I have There is one part where it is not like very specifically mentioned, but the inference I draw that the world knows Amitabh Bachchan ji as enigmatic, but the contribution of Jayaji in what Amitabh Bachchan ji is today is something beautifully narrated in the book, sir. It comes out as as fresh as a perspective, which is something never found, never seen, never read, but it makes you believe that okay, there is more to the professional lives of Bachchan family than what we know about the chronologically the maintained facts. So,
See, uh, also look at the chemistry that they shared. It's so
yes.
visible in films like Abhiman,
Hmm.
Mili, Chupke Chupke, you know. So, and also both are phenomenal actors in their own right. So when they got together, of course, it had to be magic.
Right. Okay, sir.
In fact, his
Like, yeah.
first super hit itself is with Jaya Bachchan, Zanjeer.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. I was about to come there. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invite. And it's simply an honor to host you and hear from you the efforts, the involvement, and the character chronology that you have maintained throughout the book. And I'm looking forward to reading more of your books and the new books that are lined up, sir.
Thank,
Thank you so much, sir.
thank you so much.